All right, so when you hire a company to ship something valuable, you expect it to arrive in one piece.
You do, but when a piece of art shows up beaten up, who pays for that damaged delivery? When the shipping company gave a Salt Lake man the runaround, he decided it was time to call KSL investigator Matt Gephardt.
Mike Deeney, good evening. No question about it, this package experienced some trauma between Utah and the East Coast when it finally arrived. So now to the question, what power do you have as the person who sent this item to make the shipping company actually step up and make it right? Bob Barr says he was not planning on buying anything when he stumbled into an art gallery 30 years ago. But when he saw a painting depicting the exact kind of plane that his dad flew in World War II, he knew he had to have it. He bought it and hung it in his home. Then, when his son graduated from the Naval Academy decades later, he knew just how to honor both generations.
We were having my son, a graduate of the Academy, donated in his grandfather's name to the Academy.
Bob says he carefully packaged the artwork inside of a wooden frame between layers of cardboard and bubble wrap. And he brought it here to the UPS store near his home to be sent off to Annapolis. Bob made sure to tell the workers in the store it was precious cargo.
He then, said, well, how much should we insure it for?
Take a look at the receipt. The UPS store acknowledged the extra value, $6,000, and charged Bob $116 extra for that extra liability. Off the painting went, but somewhere along the way, something went wrong. When the package arrived, the packing frame was gone, and the cardboard box was now barely draped over that precious cargo. Worse, inside, the painting now had scratches and a few small holes, and the frame was destroyed. Bob says he reached out to UPS and was told by an inspector that the damage was obvious.
He says, I'm not going to come inspect it. It's a slam dunk. They'll be issuing a check.
But no slam dunk, no check. Instead, Bob says he was told that before they would pay him a dime, he needed to provide proof of the painting's value, like a receipt from when he bought it 30 years ago. Well, that's long gone, and either way, should it matter? Bob paid extra for $6,000 worth of liability, and the store accepted it.
I didn't place the value so that I could get a $6,000 check.
To be sure, that price tag is in the ballpark. We found that artists' paintings currently selling for around that range on auction sites. When Bob pointed that out to UPS, he says the company stopped responding.
No check, no communication, no, we're not paying the claim, no denial, no nothing.
Not sure where else to turn, Bob decided it was time to call me. You ask. KSL investigates.
It can be a little bit tricky.
I asked attorney Steven Baxter, who specializes in matters of shipping, to weigh in. He says that consumers tend to take for granted that their shipment will make it in one piece. But when the shipping gods do turn on you, Baxter says the best way to protect yourself is to do what Bob did. Make sure you communicate in advance that what you are shipping is valuable. Declare a higher value or purchase insurance, or both.
If they didn't have insurance and if they didn't declare a higher value, then they bear that loss.
But, Baxter warns, in the eyes of the law, declaring that something has a high value and paying for that high value does not necessarily mean the shipping company is going to be forced to pay that high value if the package is lost or damaged.
The law and courts really look at things based on what their value is to society generally, not on what the value is to the individual person.
The KSL investigators reached out to both UPS and the UPS store on Bob's behalf to ask about all of this. A spokesperson from the UPS store wrote that they didn't have insight into what happened in this specific case that led to the damage, but said, "We sincerely apologize to Mr. Barr for the situation." But ultimately, they told us the same thing they told Bob months ago. He must provide proof of the item's value, for example, sales receipt, before the UPS store will be able to get the claim approved for reimbursement.
I realize it could take some time.
The good news here for Bob is that since our calls, he says the silent treatment has stopped. He is now working with UPS and the UPS store through the cumbersome hoops of getting the painting appraised in the hopes that ultimately it's going to lead to the shipping company covering the repair costs. And Bob also paid extras to make sure that when it was received in Annapolis, somebody had to sign for it. Bob says that did not happen. It was left sitting unattended against a garage.
Back to you.
Yeah, you think they'd have to have some kind of alternative to the receipt, especially in situations like this where you're shipping something that is decades old.
There is an alternative. There is an alternative. It's just a cumbersome alternative. And the fact that he declared ahead of time this is $6,000, paid extra for that, that doesn't seem to make a whole heck of a lot of difference when it comes to actually proving what the value of the thing is now that the shipping company has damaged it.
Yeah, well, we wish him the best of luck. At least they're communicating with him now. Matt, thank you.